This is where the girl first appears. She doesn't have any extra muscle on her shoulders. The wings are attached to them, and that's it. Being an airplane maniac, Miyazaki respects this kind of reality. Well, I have to admit that this is not a strong evidence, and you might think this is just a delusion of Toshio Okada. You might say, come on, the angel looks fine as a character Miyazaki portrays, so I'll explain it from a different point of view. Chage and Asuka dreamed that the girl could fly, so they rescued her. I'll talk more about this a little bit later, but she was just genetically manipulated or mutated by radiation. In other words, the wings are fake. That's why she doesn't even once flap her wings. If she really wanted to save Chage and Asuka, she would at least move the wings. But if she did that, her wings would only break. She doesn't have the ability to fly. The girl is a symbol of freedom. Therefore, they rescue her. But the girl is not an angel. She was just genetically manipulated. Maybe I'll explain more. Here she doesn't even have wings. At the scene where the two imagine the successful rescue, Miyazaki intentionally drew the girl without wings. Then, and this is the scene that comes after, I actually wasn't going to mention this in the free part. She doesn't have any wings at this point, but the wings gradually grow from her shoulders. No wings when she's still sitting, but in the next cut, she spreads her wings. This is what I meant by Miyazaki's malicious intention. The three are having an impossible dream. Chage and Asuka rescue a girl who symbolizes the freedom that Chage and Asuka want so badly. But in fact, she's not an angel. She's just a genetically manipulated human who's not even strong. Chage and Asuka reflect themselves onto the girl and encourage her to fly when they are falling. But because she's powerless, all she can do is to die with them. There are often people who are excessively admired by the public during revolutions or social movements, like Martin Luther King or Jeanne d'Arc. People see them as gods or some kind of symbol, even though they are just humans, and they usually die miserably. This is the reality that Layer 2 shows us. Then, why does the girl fly at the climax scene of the movie? After the third hook, what happened to her? Moreover, why does the truck suddenly fly in the air? Also, if everything is a delusion, does that plot contradict with the explanation I've given about the legend of Nausicaa? Actually, they don't. When we get to layer 3, I'll explain the structure that Miyazaki has designed in order to let those seemingly contradicting factors coexist in one movie. I still have up to layer 6 to discuss. Again, every layer I move on to, I will overturn the previous conclusion. It's gonna be challenging, but please keep up. Free part is done. Now bathroom break and time for a questionnaire. In the second half, maybe I can only finish layer 3, but I'll do my best. In order for you to watch the second half, which is the paid part, you can become our member for 550 yen per month. You get access to the last 10 lectures. You can become a premium member, then you can watch everything for 2,200 yen. Okay, now the result. Today was so tiring. Oh, thank you. I'll try to finish On Your Mark this week or next Wednesday so I can move on to Star Wars, The Last Jedi. I'll make sure that those who haven't watched the movie itself can still enjoy my lecture. And I'll predict what happens in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, and the new saga that will start from 2022. I'll talk about what I think it's going to be like. I think I have a good picture of what it's going to be like, and I explain my reasons too. Those would be the human affairs issues between Lucasfilm and Disney. Yeah, it's all politics. I think I have good insights, so I'll explain them to you. Okay, goodbye to those watching the free part. Now, let's move on to the second half. Thank you very much. Please switch.